Good morning, y'all. I'm going to say something that may shock quite a few of you. But I actually agree with the U.S. Supreme Court in its decision in the Birthright Citizenship Executive Order. Now, hold on. That decision only talked about procedural matters, not the substance of the executive order, not whether or not Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship is constitutional or not. That's still being litigated. So let's talk about what that Supreme Court decision actually was. It dealt on whether or not a federal court, a judge in one of the district courts, can rule and make an injunction, basically stopping something nationwide. You see, we have 94 district courts in the U.S. And each of those district courts has a judge. That judge resides or presides, has power, has authority, which is known as jurisdiction, over his or her district. For example, some states like Iowa has 2 federal district courts. You have a northern one and you have a southern one. Some states, like California, well, they have 4. They have northern, eastern, southern, and western district courts. Okay? Let me break it down to you, make it like in layman terms. You have a governor of California, Gavin Newsom. He only can make decisions for California because California is his jurisdiction. That's where he has power. You have a governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. He can only make decisions for Minnesota. Same thing with a judge. A judge in the Northern District Court in California can only decide cases, or even only hear cases, I should make it even simpler, can only hear cases that are in Northern District area of California. Now, a federal district court, a judge can hear cases that involved anything with federal law, U.S. Constitution, that sort of thing. If it involves the federal government, they can hear it. They can also hear cases that are called diversity of citizenship, and you're like, what the hell is that? Simple. The parties, the plaintiffs and the defendants, they're not from the same state. Okay, they're either not from the same state, or one is from U.S. and then another country for the defendant. Okay, that's diversity of citizenship. You also have to, the claim has to be at least $75,000 to be a diversity of citizenship case. Okay, so basically 2 different states or a different country and $75,000. Now, why do I agree with the U.S. Supreme Court? Because they ruled that no district court judge can make a ruling, can put an injunction on anything that affects the whole country. To me, that makes sense because they don't have jurisdiction, they don't have power over, they can't rule on anything for the whole country, only within their district. Now, what does this mean moving forward? Department of Justice is going to be very, very busy. Why? There's going to be numerous cases. Again, we have 94 districts. That means any case, any executive order that the Trump writes and people don't agree with, they want to challenge its constitutionality and or get an injunction on, we're going to have to file 94 cases. Don't think we'll ever be able to do a class action. I'll get together and do class action because I heard that Thomas and I think it was Alito, but definitely Thomas, they don't like class action cases. So if you were thinking about that, I don't think that's going to happen. But that's why I agree with the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on birthright citizenship, because it didn't decide whether or not the executive order is valid or not. And let's also not forget, Trump keeps signing executive orders. They're not law per se. The next president, Republican, Independent, Democrat, whatever, can come in and do an executive order, wipe all of these Trump executive orders out, and have his or her own. So we got to remember that. We also have to remember Trump cannot and will not stay as president of the United States forever. It's just not going to happen because we don't live forever, for one thing. So, yeah, I agree with the Supreme Court, shocking as it may be, but it just makes sense to me. What are your thoughts? Now that I've explained that, do you agree or disagree with how the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on birthright citizenship? Let me know in the comments. And have a great day.